Thank you guys for returning to Opportunity Live. I am your show host, Miss Opportunity. The next encourager that we're going to be talking today is a special lady. And I talk about her all the time. I talk about her boutique all the time, but I wanted you guys to hear the behind the scenes story. This woman is so incredible. The story, the things that she had to go through and where she is now, you wouldn't even believe it was her. So without further ado, I would like to bring up the owner of Nickel City Boutique, Nickel City Baby, off of 28th Street in Thomas, Miss Cynthia Scott. Yes, honey, yes, slaying, bro. Woo!
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for coming. For you guys who don't know, I actually met Cynthia a couple of months ago, and it's when I first started to embark on my journey as being an entrepreneur. And I went into her shop one day, and I was like, Miss Cynthia, I want to do a commercial about your business. And she was like, you want to do a commercial? I was like, yeah, I want to hire my own camera crew. I want to come in here. I want to talk about everything that you have in your shop. I just want to bring people to your store. Can I do this as my first recording? And she said, yeah, when you want to come? She was so encouraging, and she was just like, yeah, just bring whoever you want, girl, go ahead. And I was like, well, just tell me a little bit more about yourself, so when I bring them, I can know what kind of questions to ask you, I can know what to do. And she was like, well, you know what, it's been a long time coming. So I want you to tell them what you told me about your first journey before you actually got into doing the boutique and the different things like that. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about your story.
So I'm Cynthia Scott, and I'm actually inmate number W92839. My life has changed quite a bit since I had to use that number. When I use that number now, I use it in events like this. I used to use it on a daily basis. It hasn't been all that long. I walked out of prison in October the 23rd, about 3 o'clock in the morning in 2009. I came to Arizona in 2010. My son gave me an opportunity. I talked to him on the phone. He said, hey, got an opportunity for you. I'm going to give you this condo I have, give you the keys. You can walk away from California. You have 3 days to get here because I want to see you change your life. So I came here with a box of clothes from the Goodwill, my book in rare form on a flash drive. I had it in my bra. I was determined. And I came here on the Greyhound bus. And I knew the minute that I sat at the bus station and waited for him, which was actually like 3 hours, that I thought was able to think about my life. And I saw different stories in the bus station. I heard women. I heard a little kid crying that they didn't want to go see their parent because they had never met them. And obviously they were going on a visit. And it was just so many things going on. So I came here. I got on the bus and I went and got me a job at one of those places everybody gets a job at in Arizona when you get here or get out of jail, a telemarketing office. In my past, I had been a booster. Now, a lot of people may not know what that is, but a thief in the clothing stores. So I used to go in stores like Nordstrom and different places and do refunds. And I was good at it, But just like anything, it caught up with me, which is why I had went to jail over 17 times by the time I changed my life. So I had 14 aliases. So I decided to take that skill set because I didn't have a normal skill set. See, along with that, I had been a heroin addict for over 23 years. So I didn't have a skill set that I could depend on beside the clothes. So I said, hey, I want to do something, I want to just empower women, so I wrote my story. I wanted to tell people the behind the scenes thing as to how I became an addict. See, in 1987, my children were viciously raped and sodomized. I went in the bathroom, picked up a spoon and a needle, and I stayed there for 23 years. So I wanted people to know what happens in our community when our children are violated. I wanted them to know just what a bad turn it had took in my life. Today, my daughter's a doctor. My son is actually in med school for anesthesiologist. So we actually rebounded from all of that. And I'm sitting here talking to you today about Nickel City Baby. I've written books about that. And I started off and wrote my story, which was actually a true crime. And I put it in the genre of true crime because it's a crime when something happens to your family and you find yourself in a bathroom with rose-colored glasses on because that's all you can do. It's actually a crime. It's a true crime.
Right. But like you said, this happens in our community every day. Like, I don't care what you say, if you think you live on a rock or anything like that. The second you turn on the TV, you see something happening not only to the people in our community, but across the nation, even internationally. You know, you see so much war on terrorists, you see domestic violence and stuff like that, but no one ever speaks up about it. Or they let those type of situations control their life, or they just like, you know what, I don't want to move forward. I want to end my life right now. Or they try to, like you said, go to narcotics, or they inflict danger on someone else. So with all of that happening to you, what made you decide, you know what, I'm getting on this Greyhound, I'm coming here, I'm actually going to take everything that happened to me, and I'm going to write my testimony. Not only write it, but then decided to publish it. Yes, it's published, by the way, in rare form. Yes. What made you want to publish it and actually share your truth with the world?
Well, when I was coming here on the Greyhound, the last city before you enter Arizona is called Needles. So for me, it was like, wow, you know, I'm leaving that thing back there, you know. So when I first got in the car with my son, my daughter called and said, hey, do you have your story written? And I was like, yeah, I've been writing it down. I got it on a flash drive. And she was like, you need to go tell people our story. You need to tell them what has happened to us. You need to let people know what happened. They never talk about that on IDTV, what happened at the dinner table after 2 children were viciously raped and sodomized. What conversation do you have? So I wanted to share our conversations with people so they would know, so that people would know exactly what happened. So I wanted to move forward. I wanted people to know about the story. So I made the decision at that point when I left Needles, California, that I was going to tell everybody about the needle I had left behind.
Right, and I'm glad that you had that encouragement, that you had support from your kids to actually want to move forward, because after all of that, you still not only wrote your story, but now you volunteer. You know, now you actually do mentorships with different people and teenagers and young adults and stuff like that to encourage them, like, hey, you don't have to go that route. You know what I mean? Because when I first met you, that was the first thing you told me. You said, you know, there's something special about you. You know, I'm glad to see somebody your age moving forward, and every time you go live inside of your shop, that's the first thing that come out of your mouth is like, you know what, we got to dress somebody today. This woman was released from prison, and we're dressing her for free because she released, and she actually wants to be more than what she was the day before, more than what she was 2 months ago. So tell us a little bit about that and how you incorporate your testimony to the things that happen in your shop.
Okay, so the name of my store is Nickel City Baby. And so actually at this point, I want to bring up the young lady who actually helps me to do these things for these women. She actually helps me.
Lacey January.
So this is Lacey January. She does all the marketing for the store. She's literally taken the store off of my hands so that I can go out and do other things. I'm working on some books right now and stuff like that. So what she mainly does is we found out that we both we don't care if it's slow at the store one day. You know, we were at the store one day, we had business was bad, but a lady came in because what I do at Nickel City is everything in my store ends in 55 cents. And I use that to clothe women for free that are getting out of prison, battered homes, and sober living. I'm not nonprofit. I'm out of pocket of myself and my community like you, who when you buy a dress from me, you contribute 55 cents. Nothing in our store is over $30, and we only buy 6 of each item. I think Lacey can pretty much tell you what she does at the store because I'm like a talker. So I'm going to let her tell you
what happens when you got that good wisdom. You know, you just want to spread it. But thank you, Lacey, for also being here. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do inside of Nickel City, baby.
Okay, well, hello. Hey, Dejenaie. Thanks for having us here. So my name is Lacey January. I pretty much just style everyone that comes to Nickel City. I make sure our marketing is A1. I know you see us in your timeline. Follow us on Instagram at Nickel City Baby, also on Facebook at Nickel City Baby. And pretty much I just get to hang around my godmother here, fairy godmother, as we go ahead and clothe the community. Again, it is about helping women and definitely making sure that they feel empowered, because a lot of times when you do get released from prison or jail or things like that, you're given a voucher that says, go to this store and you can only get this. We get a lot of women that come into Nickel City Baby that want to feel like a woman again. They don't want to have, something uniform. They want to have something to feel pretty, something to feel empowered. So that is what we do.
And I remember when I first met Lacey, she actually helped me get styled from one of my next photo shoots. And she was just like, you know, the things here, they're for everybody, because it's not about what you wear, it's how you wear it. And I think that's very important. So, Lacey, I want you to tell me a little bit about what you do outside of work that helps you with that mindset of, you know, helping that person encourage themselves to be who they are and comfortable in their own skin and clothes.
Yeah, okay. Well, so obviously I'm here with my godmother, but my biological mother did pass away. So at that time, I did become emancipated when I was 16. I did go ahead and take on custody of my remaining siblings that were left, and I instantly became their stylist, instantly. I'm like, we're going through a lot, but we're never going to look like what we're going through. I'm going to dress you guys from head to toe. So that's how I actually got into the styling game. And then also I'm in the medical field, so I do want to go ahead. I'm still in school, so you guys, you know, cheer me on. But I will be doing, thank you. I will go ahead and be doing plastic surgery for pediatrics, so cleft lips, webbed fingers, things like that. And I'm just all about making sure that people feel beautiful. That's really what it is. I just want to go ahead and make sure that everyone feels beautiful from the inside, because that's what's going to emulate on the outside.
Exactly. And the thing is, from everybody outside looking in, the reason why we, like I said, to have this platform is to encourage, because hearing their stories and everything that they go through, you wouldn't believe that it was them by just meeting them. You know, she has her own book. She has her store. You taking care of your brothers and sisters so adequately, and then you go to medical school. You help inspire people to be inspired from themselves, you know. So having all that stuff that happened in your background, what is one thing that you would give as far as advice to the next generation to help them feel encouraged?
One thing I would say is that you have to speak confidence into yourself.
Yes.
You have to pretty much wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, nobody is better than you. And that's not to be cocky. It's not to be cocky, but it's something to speak confidence into your life. Nobody is better than you. And being around Miss Cynthia, you will definitely feel that, because she exudes confidence. She exudes, you know, feel good about yourself. Girl, wear that dress. You know what I mean? So it's a joy and a pleasure and an honor to be around her.
Okay.
You know.
And what about you, Miss Cynthia? What advice could you give us?
Well, the advice that I would give is, a lot of times I find that people see you and you don't really know who you see. You know what I'm saying? Just to give a quick example, was a few years ago, I was going to an event to speak, and I was outside, and there was a lady panhandling. You know, and I saw these guys out there laughing at her and talking about her and stuff. And so when I got on the stage, I called them out on that, because I told them that they never know that who they were laughing at today could very well be their boss tomorrow. So that's how I live my life. I don't look at anybody down there. I don't look at anybody up here. I keep my eyes straight ahead, because the very person that you're looking at today could very well be the person that saved your life, maybe your sister's life, tomorrow. So what I do myself is, no matter what's going on in my life, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, it doesn't matter. I get up and show up for my life every day, because at the end of the day, that's all you have. If you don't get up and show up for your life, you won't have one. There's no guarantee what kind of life you will have, but I promise you that if you get up and show up for your life every day, you're going to have one. It's a fact.
It sure is, girl. Snap on that one.
Dropping gems.
Yes, but I want to say thank you both for so much for coming out and encouraging us today. We're actually going to just take a brief break. We're going to come back and do a little Q&A where our audience can actually talk to each special guest and ask them individual questions if they need. So we'll be back in just a few moments, and we do have our live performance coming soon. Thank you.